Yes, we can.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, well, we now begin with our today's webinar. A warm welcome to all our participants and speakers to this very beautiful Thursday afternoon. When we talk about employee engagement, the first thing that comes in our mind is Rangoli Organizing Committee or a team responsible for organizing Diwali, Eid, Holi, or even Independence Day celebration for that matter. But according to Bersens by Deloitte, 85% of business leaders globally believes engagement is important. And as per Forbes, the very definition of employee engagement is when an employee is emotionally committed to the organization and its goal. Let's hear it out from our speaker who has reinvented the whole concept of employee engagement to the next level. HRAI welcomes you all to the 2020 Dialogue, the Masterclass series on the topic employee engagement. To know more about HRAI and its event, I would request all the participants to visit the link and the details posted in the chat window. Request you all to participate and kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. However, there are few simple and doable asks from our speaker today. One, to keep the video on throughout the session. Two, to be mute and needed, requested, connect and engage otherwise. It would be a great to have all the participants' feedback when we will be running the poll before the Q&A session. Request all the participants to kindly give your feedback on the session. I now take the privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker today, Mr. Vinay Trivedi, Head HR, Tone Tech. He comes with 13 years of experience in the field of talent management, talent engagement, and talent acquisition across IT, ITES, banking, insurance, fintech sector. Wow. Experience in managing entire gamut of HR, creating smart acquisition strategy, creating people engagement journey, managing performances, drawing up the learning journey, managing HR compliances, payroll, statutory requirements, thus creating the great place to work. You can also follow him on LinkedIn, and he also runs a very popular YouTube channel, VT Talks. Personally, Vinay, I am a big fan of that. I think the same has been shared in the uh, chat window below. Without taking much of your time, I now welcome Vinay to take over this session. Over to you, Vinay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over here for a session. Um, it's a very interesting topic. Employee engagement is something that uh, has been misunderstood, has been sort of taken out of context for most part of our HR journey. Well, if you think that I'm here to really give you tips on how employee engagement needs to be done, definitely that's not the objective. I'm not going to be sharing any tips or any specifics of how engagement has to happen and what we need to do. But what we are going to definitely spend time over the next 35, 40 odd minutes is really start getting into this mode where we begin to think on what do we want to do and how do we want to deal with things. I'm also very happy that all of you have your videos on. While HRAI has a lot of rules, and I'm very scared to even post something on the HRAI group because first I see the time. If I'm beyond time, then I see if the content is relevant. Is it in the right group? So there's no rules for anybody to follow anything. As far as you are enjoying and listening to the session and having say one or two takeaways, just chill, enjoy the session. Anything that you think is not making sense, just call out and just tell that Vinay, this does not make sense. Go ahead and say it's bullshit. I'm okay with it. The whole objective really is not for me to really come and tell you or give you gyan. There is enough and more material available, but the whole objective is that if we could collectively together as HR folks spend time to really understand the context of how and what engagement is all about. Okay, that's really how this session is planned and is going to go on. I will share the screen, and I'll keep altering between sharing the screen and going off so that I can see all of you and you can see everybody. And don't be so serious. It's an employee engagement session. You can smile. You don't have to like very seriously look into the computer and and say, "Acha, और एक ज्ञान session 3 बजे को होगा." I mean, just don't worry about it. Okay, but only promise that I want from all of you is we're going to use the chat window a lot. We're going to use your thoughts a lot in this session. So be ready to answer questions, be ready to get a perspective, and let's have some fun. That's the way I sort of take this ahead. Let me share screen. Okay, I am hoping that everybody is able to see the screen.
Yes, pretty much.
Excellent. You can see the presentation as well.
Yes, Vinay.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. All right. Let's get quickly started. What are we all doing here? All of you are here. This master class in the dialogue series. I wish I could rattle out a few movie dialogues in this session. We're really here for a couple of things, right? What I want to start off with is to understand what are your expectations, and it cannot be more than 1 or 2 words. You can use the chat window, think about it, tell me what are your expectations in 1 or 2 words from this session. Um, One question, if you have any, you can sort of keen. Don't just put one question for class participation, but if you genuinely have, just add them here. And we'll also spend some time ideating to see what different ideas can we have when we talk of this as a employee engagement session. So expectations, we are non-transactional engagement, which are not only for feel good fun, exploring new ideas. Rangoli, you want to move away from it. Okay, learn with fun. Okay, go on. There are 97 participants. Oh my God, I didn't even think so many people will come to listen to me on employee engagement, and that to all HR folks mostly. I see a lot of other people also logged in. Very happy to see a lot of these people.
You have a lot of fan following, sir.
अरे नहीं क्या fan following है? Understand EE better. Yeah इतना serious मत हो जा फैजल, मतलब let's but keen, go on, keep using this and keep writing down your expectations, and if you have any questions as well, I'll be happy to try and fulfill all of them in the next 30-40 minutes that we will sort of spend. Okay, this session is going to be all about a lot of interesting activities and a lot of fun that we will have, and I want all of you to participate in that. Hey, let me minimize this. Let's understand the context. There is always a background or a context of anything that happens around us. Okay, and it's important that we understand this context as we sort of begin with our in our journey, right? We believe that HR engagement is about activities, creating impact through various activities. I break them down into activities because it could be either fun activities, it could be leadership connects, it could be employee connects, it could be multiple things in which we aim to engage with our people. But all of this is essentially are activities that we have. And you need to understand that this is the background of what your entire employee engagement journey is all about. Right? Overload. This is another big context. I mean, there is so much information overload about how employee engagement needs to be done. What is employee engagement all about? You Google 10 ideas for employee engagement, you will get some 150 websites which will give you so many ideas. We live in a world of information overload, right? But that's also reality. And to figure out which ones to use and which ones are the best ones is what really our jobs as HR professionals need to be while we start engaging with our people. It also leads to a lot of confusion, right? what really engagement is all about. Is it about only fun activities? Is it about only job enrichments? Is it about development initiatives? We are eternally confused. We sometimes say that even fun is important. We sometimes say that no, developing our people is important. There's a whole lot of confusion. And trust me, I will make sure that this confusion does not go anywhere at the end of the session. You will be even more confused. You will be even more wondering that what just happened in this session. I'll only add to that confusion. I promise that I'll not answer any of your confusion points. But this is the context. We all live in this context. If you agree, if you think it makes sense that we live in an information overload world, we live with confusion, use the chat window, and you can say yes, you can say I agree. I'll just feel happy that you're awake and alive in the session. So, and if you disagree, more importantly, you should also write that you disagree. That will also help. Okay. All right. Now, while this short video talks about, so HR Katha had covered some of our employee engagement or employee connect initiatives at ToneTag. While I play this video, and I realized when I was just going through the slides and I saw the video, when you see me in the video and when you're seeing me now, when I was seeing this, I remembered this. If you've all seen these ads of teleshopping network that comes at 12:30 in the night when you're trying to switch between channels. मैं पहले बहुत मोटा था, मुझे बाहर जाने में शर्म आती थी. So this video also is going to be of that sort, but भावना पे मत जाना. Just go on what the context is and the content is. It'll help you understand how a lot of simple activities will create a impact or an engagement which helps your employees in really understanding what this is all about. So I'll just quickly go through the video. It's a 3-minute video, so you can sit back and just enjoy that video. I thought it had covered everything in a very summarized manner, so I thought I'll replay it here. So here you go. Are all of you able to see the YouTube screen? Just if you could do this.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Excellent. Okay. As far as you're able to see it. There are different ways in which we can look at engaging with people. As I run the people function for ToneTag, it was always interesting to know how ToneTag used sound as a basis and built a technology around it in an encrypted manner to transfer data from point A to point B. When I was thinking of what kind of people engagement practices we could have at ToneTag, sound was at the center of how we could naturally engage with people. That's when we started designing a lot of our employee engagement activities around sound. This New Year's, on 2nd of Jan 2019, when the entire organization came back into the new year, we actually welcomed people with the sound of morning raga. It was such a pleasant and a mesmerizing experience to come on board and see that you're being welcomed with a musical start to the year. We practice workplace meditation. The sound of silence is much more powerful than any sound that you would hear.
we've been doing that consistently for over a year now, and we see great results that come up through meditation as we build this organization. We in our meetings, we have singing, which has become a normal practice where people actually hum songs. Our experiments was to see how the sound of national anthem can motivate people in the organization. We've been singing national anthem in the organization for over a year now. Definitely, the singing of people has considerably improved. Two, it gives us confidence as a startup when we use that sound of national anthem as vibration in really talking about who we are as an organization. For us, in every activity that we do from a people perspective, sound plays a very critical role, be it team meetings, be it weekly connects, be it special occasions. Everything for us is connected through sound, and that's how we are building a great mindful workplace. Thank you.
Okay. Why did I share this? This video is not to really, talk about my organization, but it really talks of how a lot of simple things like a morning raga, for example, or music can create an emotional bond. And this emotional bond that you create with people, and I'll talk about it as we progress, really is the essence of how, the whole thing sort of works. What I want all of you to now do is there's a small activity. So I want all of you to stand up. Okay. You'll have to stand up. I'm not letting everybody just sit, chill, and peacefully be there. I'm standing up myself. So I'll stop share for a second, and let me see if all of you have to stand up. The ones who have switched off the video and thinking that they will not stand up also, we'll make you stand up. Don't worry about it. Okay. And I want all of you to enjoy this activity, with me. It's going to be fun. Trust me. And everything that I'm showing or doing has a context or a background about employee engagement. And that's why we are sort of doing this, right? First of all, you think that first of all, we call somebody for a Gyan session at 3 o'clock post lunch session. We are busy with our chai to wake ourselves up, and this guy is making us stand up. But that's the way it should be. That's how you will have fun. Let me go back to screen share. Okay. I want all of your. I'm hoping that all of your volumes are turned up. You're able to sort of see. Okay. Let me just start this video, and I want all of you to sing with me this song, and let's see how you like it. All right. Okay. Excellent. All of you can sit down now. Let me stop sharing the screen. I see a lot of smiles. Now I don't have to tell people to smile in the session. What I want is use the chat window to sort of share your first thing that came to your mind when you heard this. Goosebumps, pride, association, rhythm, respect, right? Yeah, I'm waiting. Stand up now, discipline, positiveness. You know, while all of this is going on, one of a critical aspect in an employee engagement journey is to surprise your people. What I did today with all of you is I surprised you. The minute I surprised you, I created an emotional connect with all of you. Because I created an emotional connect with all of you, possibly, you know, if I do an activity, you will wholeheartedly enjoy that activity with me, right? Because there's a surprise element. And as HR, we sometimes have to surprise people. We sometimes have to, and nothing is out of box. It's common sense that I've used, by the way. Very simple thing which is available. I've utilized that. I haven't really thought something which is out of the box in helping you and all of that. I've just sort of, you know, used some music to ignite, right? That's the essence of how you create those bonds. And the minute you create those bonds is when you start moving into your employee engagement side. And we'll talk about it and we'll see how in the next few slides, you know, I take you really through that journey. Okay. So far, so good. All of you are in sync with me. Yeah, very good. I'm happy. 23 minutes and people are still listening. HR wale HR ki baat sunte hain, matlab that's like an ultimate thing. Okay. So I'm very happy that you know, all of you are here. Let me go back to sharing my screen and the presentation. Okay. Let me get the video panel. Okay. All right. Let's play some trivia now. And again, let's use the chat window to sort of play the trivia. Okay. What is this? What do you see on the screen? Which tree is it? And what is its context from an Indian perspective? It's a banyan tree, bang on. Roots, yeah. Age, old banyan tree. Yeah, I understand it's a banyan tree. What is its significance? What is the significance of the banyan tree from an Indian context? Heritage, strong roots, kalpa vruksh, our culture. Keep it going, covering more space. Symbol of immortality. Thanks, Nikita, for that. Puja and all, enlightenment, branches. What else? From an Indian context, do you know what this tree signifies? I'm not saying religion, but Indian as a country perspective. Symbol of spirituality, mythological, agile, huge, strong roots, give shade. Yes, Rashi, thanks for bringing that out. It is our national tree. And it is our national tree for all the reasons that you've mentioned. And why do I bring a banyan tree out here in an employee engagement webinar? There's a very, very critical link in this. Banyan tree symbolizes eternity. It survives for centuries. It is evolving. It keeps growing. It keeps changing. It keeps surviving, right? And the reason why it is the India's national tree is because we also want to associate with something which is immortal, which continuously changes, which continuously evolves, which continuously grows. Okay. Why have I brought this here is when a tree can continuously evolve and grow, why does HR activities not evolve and grow? Why do we have only 5 or 6 activities that we keep doing every year? Potlucks to celebrations to games to fun activities to movies. why don't we also grow with times? Think about it. The second aspect why this banyan tree example is very relevant is because, sorry, just give me one. The second aspect why this banyan tree is very important is because it also symbolizes being aware. And one of a critical parameter of HR folks is we are not aware of our businesses the way we should be. In one of my earlier jobs at a life insurance company, my boss actually gave me a target to sell life insurance. And trust me, when I had to sell life insurance, I understood how difficult it is to really get people on board for it. As HR, when we want to engage with our people, we have to be on the other side of the board. I've done coding classes to understand how coding is done when I deal with software engineers. I hate coding. I don't understand anything of what coding is all about. I cried every day of my class when I was going to the coding classes, but I just wanted to understand what goes around it. Being aware is the first step towards building an emotional connect with your people. And that is a critical link to create a well-rounded employee engagement activity. And that's why it's here, right? So being aware, surprise, please make a note of these points somewhere, because I'm going to link all of these up when we come towards talking about employee engagement as a holistic picture. So aware, surprise, make notes of all of these. Let's go to the next one, and we'll have some fun as well. Okay, I'll get the chat window back. Just give me 1 second. Okay, you have 30 seconds to answer this. Use the chat window. Just give me 1 second. You heard the question, right? 26/7. Quickly, quickly, quickly. 8 seconds more. There's just one person. 30. There were 3 questions. 111 participants. 29, 7, 500, 37, 28, 9, 7. Wow. This is awesome. 267, 35. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking of the country that all of you are living in. We are not talking of a country that is outside of where you're living, right? Think about it. Let me go back and give you the answer. Ashish is joining in. I have a lot of, just let me go back to screen share. I'll tell you all about this. Yeah. The answer is 28, 8, and 739. You know why I asked this question to all of you? We keep telling a lot of people that you have to be focused, you have to go deep in your work, you have to really work hard, you should know your stuff well. In interviews, we tell this to people. When people come to us cribbing about something that is not working well, we tell to people about this. We all give this gyan. This is a classic example of when you go one level down, we don't even know what it is all about. Forget one level down. Even at the superficial level, states, territories, we didn't know. Going one level down though is a disaster. But we give this gyan to our people that you have to be focused. Haven't you all motivated your employees when they're down, when they come to you cribbing, when they nod your heads, because I can see you in the video if you've motivated your people in saying that you have to work hard and you should do this, right? And look at us. While I don't expect you to know this as trivia, but this is general knowledge, right? This is not really science or anything else. This is very basic knowledge about a place that we live in, right? We talk of cultural diversity. We celebrate diverse festivals, but I ask how many states and union territories that you're celebrating your diversity, we don't know the answers to, right? So being aware, which I spoke about, knowing your business, which I spoke about, you as HR professionals going one level down to build that connect with your people. And this is exactly what, through this example, you know what I'm talking about, right? Will only enable and help you in really creating a world-class employee engagement program. And you don't need to be a CHRO for that. None of these things require you to be at senior levels. At all levels, you can do this. And that's the beauty of creating employee engagement initiatives, right? Let's play more trivia and keep the chat window on. There are a lot of questions that I like asking questions to people. That's what HR folks anyways like doing, right? We love asking questions. So the next one is, which is the world's first university? You know, please answer. Okay. Nalanda, excellent. Nalanda. Oh, a lot of you know Nalanda. Brilliant this is. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Good to see Raghu also here. Okay. Anybody else? Any other answer? Nalanda? Yeah, Nalanda. Yes. You know what I'm doing right now? By saying that, wow, so many Nalanda, so many Nalanda, so many Nalanda, all of you think it is Nalanda. Okay. No, it's not. Yes, Ajay, thanks for bringing that out. You know, it is Takshila. This is what peer pressure does to us. Somebody is doing something and somebody's put it up on LinkedIn. We also want to do the same activity to make it viral. And we want to call ourselves as creating great employee engagement activities, right? You know, Takshila was set up in 700 BC. I don't even understand what 700 BC would mean. But at that time, they had the sense, the common sense of diversity of saying that we should have 60 different subjects, from fine arts to humanities to science to culture to so many things. 60 different subjects were being taught. Okay. Can you think of 60 different types of employee engagement initiatives that you would have done? When there was so much variety at that point in time, what are we bringing or doing to bring that variety here? All of these questions that I'm asking you through these trivia is, you know, I'm not saying that we are useless. I'm not saying that. We are very, very important people. We are HR, obviously, of organizations, right? We are the human people of the organization. But I'm just raising our awareness levels to saying that we are doing things like a herd mentality, but are we really doing what needs to be done? Are we really thinking in how we want to create these activities? And that's the whole objective of this session. End of the session, if I can leave you with you thinking something new by yourself, then the objective of this session by HRAI is achieved. It's not about me sharing insights, because that's my insights. It may be right, it may be wrong, it may be relevant, it may be irrelevant. We don't know, right? But the whole objective is to nudge and shake you up to think, right? Name a few games that originated in India. This I'm sure a lot of people would know. Chopad, Kabaddi, yeah, hockey, chess, Coco. Go on, go on. Chess, yeah, chess is already new games. Anything else? Ludo. Oh my God, I think first 2 months of the lockdown, everybody was playing Ludo. Everybody was busy playing Ludo sometimes. And it used to be so irritating when the servers were down and you couldn't play Ludo with your friends. If you're, online Ludo that we play, it used to be so frustrating. We never thought that we would be in a world living like that. Carom, yeah. Lagori, snakes and ladders. Thanks for bringing that up. You know, I just put up two for just, there's a reason why when you do a session, you have to link everything. Even if you're saying nonsense, you have to link it to some logic, right? I mean, that's what a good session is all about. But there is a reason why I've put these two up. Okay. Snakes and ladders really signifies, greed and growth together. And these games were well thought through so that you keep that thing going. As HR, a lot of times we have to do the right thing. And we sometimes think, do I impress or do I do the right thing? There's always this dilemma that all of us go through, right? And we sometimes possibly give in to the dilemma and don't do the right thing as well, because we justify it saying organization good and all of that. But it's important that we have this in the back of our mind, right? These will go on, but these are just some trivia to get some context, right, for all of you. Okay. My understanding about engagement, and by now you would have gotten a fair bit of an idea of how and what direction I'm moving in. Employee engagement, in my personal opinion, is not about creating employee satisfaction. It's not our job to keep our employees satisfied, because they are here there to do their work, and we have to only create a good environment as far as we can to help them. Employee satisfaction, employee happiness is not what our job as employee engagement champions is. And a lot of times all our activities are designed to create employee happiness, which is temporary, to create employee satisfaction, and we fail because not every time everybody is satisfied, right? Then what does an employee engagement really mean, and what do we do when it comes to employee engagement, right? In my view, employee engagement is the emotional commitment the employee has to the organization and its goals. When employees care and when they engage, they use discretionary effort. I'll give you some examples. All of you, let me sort of stop. All of you were in your college, when you were doing your university, your college, etc., etc. Have you organized fests, college festivals, or have you organized functions or competitions in your college? You've all organized, right? When you were organizing these things, we were emotionally so enthused and excited about making sure that the event is fabulous and fantastic. Do you agree? You can nod your heads. I can see all of you whose screens are open. Do you agree? 2 o'clock in the night also we are working on something. Nobody's told us to do it. Nobody is giving us deadlines. There's no boss that is telling us that if you don't do this, we will reprimand you in this way. But we emotionally are just doing it because we are using our discretionary effort to do it. Okay. Now, when you're emotionally invested, you automatically start using your discretionary efforts to really create that impact. And a whole objective of engaging with employees is if you are able to let your employees use their discretionary effort and if they are emotionally connected with it, right? I will give you some models that will tell you how you can use and create those things. But anybody who does not agree with this point can also, I don't see a lot of disagreements, and that's scary when everybody agrees, but this is purely my experiential thought that I'm sharing. Yes, Hiral, it's not just 2 a.m., it's till 6 a.m. It's even through the event when the whole day sort of goes. It's crazy because we're emotionally, and that's the point. As HR, can you get people to be invested emotionally? As HR, can you have these people really think about it from a perspective that they want to do things because they like it, right? That's, in my view, a great employee engagement strategy, right? Let me go back to sharing the screen, right? So again, I repeat, my understanding of employee engagement is the emotional commitment the employee has to the organization. Okay? There is a APE approach that I have. The first thing in that APE approach is awareness. I spoke about awareness, being aware of your business, being aware of what you're doing, being aware of, what your people go through. The minute you have that awareness, somebody is not on mute. Okay. On mute. The minute you have awareness, it does two very distinctive and clear things for you. First, because you are aware of your business, they will start treating you very seriously. They won't look at you as just HR, who's there in the organization to organize birthday parties and samosa parties and ethnic days and all of that. Okay. They will start respecting your point of view. They will start respecting you. Second, when you are aware yourself, you also appreciate your business as well. So when you know that somebody's job is tough, you won't pull that person out saying, hey, come for Rangoli competition because, you will refresh. He would want to slap you because, that's not what he's looking at. That can only happen when you have a heightened level of awareness. So the first thing when you're looking at an engagement program is you have to first be aware of your business. Second thing is, by now you would have realized that I'm a very, very enthusiastic and a passionate guy. I think I just want to make sure that I do whatever I do passionately, right? If you are not passionate about what you're doing, you will never do justice to creating that program that you're trying to create. Now, you know, if you're just doing it for the tick in a box kind of a thing, there's no point. मतलब हाँ दिवाली है तो एथनिक डे, नवरात्रि है तो गरबा ऑर्गेनाइज करना है. I mean, it just cannot be that. It needs to be driven with a lot of energy and passion. Okay. The third vector is emotion, and I've explained in as many words why emotional connect is critically important in this scenario, right? So being aware, and I've given enough examples of how you have to be aware, what is its importance, how you can go deep, how you can have your passion built, and how emotionally connects will help. So these three sort of build the basis or approach. So whenever I have an activity, questions I ask myself is, will this really work? Will this connect and excite them emotionally? Like, for example, the morning raga thing that you saw on that HR Katha video. Imagine people came to office on New Year, instead of giving chocolates or flowers or greeting card, we actually made somebody play the morning raga, who again was an employee, internal employee, who his name is Mansoor. 3 generations say they're classical musician practitioners. When he played the morning raga, people said this is the best New Year thing that I've actually seen, because it was so peaceful and mesmerizing. Do you know where I got that idea from? Whenever I used to go to 5-star lobbies, and when you're sitting in a 5-star coffee shop or waiting for somebody, you always listen to this peaceful music. It's very soothing. There's somebody playing a piano, somebody playing a flute, right? I actually got that idea from there, and I said, let me use it in my organization. So you don't have to really go all the way to create complex things. You can get simple ideas and you can do things as well, right? This is my approach. Make a note of this. While this will be available, and I'll try and share the presentation also with all of you, but just keep a note of this. Now, how do I use this? There has to be certain things that have to come in to use this in the model, right? Creating an impact. If you're not doing an activity that creates an impact, there is no point in doing that activity, because impact is very, very important. Today's session, if there's anything that you will realize, is passion and impact. And how will you realize that? Because I am working on creating that impact. And that's what you're absorbing right now. So creating an impact is a very, very critical parameter, right? Think, ask, is it going to create an impact? Okay. Do I need to explain this? Right? Common sense, unfortunately, is not common, right? We just don't want to use common sense. We don't want to think, that yaar ye logically kya karna chahiye isme, right? We just say no, process, procedure. We have to do this in this manner, so on and so forth. Start using common sense. A lot of activities, you will only put an end to it. You will say, yaar ye kya hum kar rahe yaar as HR people? Let us put an end to this. Let us think of something else, right? Common sense. Use that. Okay. Being simple is the most complex. If I can sit in a hotel lobby and listen to the music and enjoy, and if I can't take that simple idea and implement in an organization, what is the point of all the education that I've got, right? Being simple is very difficult. Everybody wants complex, out of box. They want to say, oh, we want to create an impact. We want to do this. We want to do that. Please think in very, very simple terms. It will create a huge impact. All these 3 things will lead to any activity that you plan, will lead to higher levels of engagement. Yeah, it's very simple that I'm telling you, and these are very, very normal things that I'm talking about, but I'm just letting or sharing a perspective with all of you. Okay. Before I get into the next slide, I'll stop for a couple of. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we still have a lot of time. I'll stop for a couple of seconds and take any questions that you may have.
So Vinay, do you want me to read out the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No, I can read out. I mean,
okay.
English मुझे आता है पढ़ना. Technology use करना भी आता है.
No, not that one.
Okay, so Divisha says, but at that time we are in fun mode, but later on focus on work. What is this point, Divisha? If you could unmute and just sort of let me know.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Call me Vinay. Sir, or ये सब इतने मतलब क्या
Okay,
है?
so hi Vinay. Actually, I was saying that I'm a student actually. I'm interested in HR. So I was just saying that at that mode in school when we conduct activities, we are enthusiastic about the fun mode. So apart from the studies, we have something to do. That's why we are in fun mode. But when we become career oriented, so we are more focused on our career and that engagement activities we keep apart from our lives. So yeah. So what about those things? People with those mentality and all.
I think it's a very, and somewhere we start missing these things. You're a student, but a lot of us who are working and also ancient because we've been working for several years now. Suddenly we feel old when we look at youngsters like you. Uh, we forget a lot of these extra things that could bring about one element to what we do, and it's a very important parameter, and that's why a lot of fun activities help, right? And we should do that, and we should definitely invest our time and energy in that. It definitely helps. Okay. Ajay, I think you make, where's Ajay? Can I have you unmute? Ajay, Ajay, kya cho tame? Where are you?
I don't see him.
He's asked the question and gone.
I think it's dropped off.
But I think Ajay has a very important point as well. Why does HR have to always think that we are Mother Teresa's and we have responsibilities to do everything by ourselves? Yaar, chhod do na, let people do it. I mean, if you are giving the right ideas, people will execute it very well for you. So I think that's a very pertinent and important. Give, don't hold. Ye HR ka koi raj nahi. It's not that HR has to do it. Allow people to, do things themselves. Let them plan, let them fail, let it be miserable, no problem. The whole point is, are they emotionally enjoying it? Even if the activity doesn't become successful. We sometimes focus on the success of the initiative than the journey of it. And that sometimes pulls us down. Let them do it. It's an excellent point that Ajay has, raised. Jal Tarang. What is Jal Tarang, Hiral?
It was in relation to the morning saga and the music that you were talking, that you heard the soothing music at the lobby.
Got it. Oh, understood. Thanks for that. Amit says, I always wonder why we put aside even the Rangoli and fun activities aside and feel ashamed of organizing it at the best. Amit, I'll tell you this answer. In my school, arts and crafts was the most hated and dreaded subject that I had. Okay. I hate it. I'm an HR guy, but I hate it. Okay. The assumption that everybody liked doing Rangoli. I like to see Rangolis, and that too from a distance. Everybody wants to do different things. So it's not that we are putting it aside or we are putting it down or there is no significance to it or there's no importance to it. Decorating our house is a roti kapda makan basic, right? Agar koi function hai to we decorate our house. If somebody is coming home, we decorate our house. So that's what happens in organization also, right? So that's not, nobody's putting that down. But not everybody likes doing it. And what happens is two people who would have done it, they are the bakras, they have to do the rangoli. There'll be 10 people who will stand around them and say, nahi, tu bahut acha karti hai, tu acha karta hai, you only have to do it and clap for and all of that. What are we doing? Right? Are we really creating that emotional bond? That's the distinct question to ask. It's not about feeling ashamed. Of course, we're very proud of doing it. We've been doing it for several years. Right? Tushar says, so just one thing, how do we know our idea was a success? Tushar, for any idea to be success, it has to first fail. If your idea has failed, the next time it's going to be a success. Don't worry about failure or success. What is important is where all people involved in that idea. Did you have a lot of people? यार ये पोल इतना जल्दी क्यों कर रहे हो? अभी तो सब bad बोलेंगे. No, I'm just kidding. It just came up to me also. Okay. Again, it's coming up to me. What is this, yaar? ये HRAI वाले ना स्कूल मास्टर की जैसे करते कभी कभी. Ankita is there, no, on the call, or she's dropped off? I'll talk to her separately. So, it is important.
I'm here.
Oh, thanks, Ankita. I forgot that I had to call you out at least 4 times today because you were traveling. I'm glad you're still.
We'll stop running this poll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Think about how you can emotionally connect with people. That is very critical. And I'll give you some examples. That's also there in the slide. I've given you the model. I've given you the approach to the model. I'll also give you some examples, indicative examples to help you appreciate that, right? Absolutely. You know, when you create an impact, you really leave that thought behind, right? Do employees really bother about employee engagement? I find emotional bonding with the origin getting lost as employees tenure is only about 2 years. You know, Preeti, even if your tenure is only 1 month, if you are emotionally connected with people, it'll really help you. And I'll give you through an example how to create that emotional connect. I'll definitely give you some tips as well, right? Anu, businesses do not give importance to engagement activities because we go to business like a schoolmaster saying you have to send 10 people to participate in this competition, okay? Now, the minute you go to business and say you have to send 10 people, he'll say, boss, I have 5 people only, you're free, you're asking for 10 people. I have asked you to hire 5 people, you've not given me those, and you want 10 people to come and do your Rangoli competition. So, you know, if that whole connect is not there, there's always going to be that pull push. And which is why it is the emotional connect that I spoke about, right? This is always going to be there. We used to have, okay, I'll stop here and I'll come back to the questions. Let me go back to some very interesting tips that I have for all of you. Just give me show video panel. I keep saying show video panel because I also want to see people. I mean, I can't just talk to a computer. I feel very claustrophobic saying, "मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ computer के साथ," you know. All right. Were you all surprised today when you heard the national anthem, or there was a trivia and there was a lot of these things? When you're planning your employee engagement activity, think of a surprise element. Surprise your people. You know, some of the examples that I'm going to share are very, very interesting ones. Okay, I see with the first one itself a lot of smiles, and I'll explain to you what it is all about. I've been speaking about this in a lot of forums. Okay, so gossip meeting, storyboarding is what I will talk about. I'll sort of, you know, in my company, once a week we all meet as an organization, and it's HR's it's HR's responsibility to meet people and gossip. I organize a full-fledged satsang of gossip meetings in my company. Okay, now you may ask me why you have to gossip. What is this going to achieve? It's a very dangerous thing to gossip. While everybody likes gossip, everybody wants to gossip, everybody wants to know the grapevine, and people think HR have all the juices of the organization in terms of gossip because we are Narad Munis, we go here, we go there, we go everywhere, and we know a lot of those things. So what I did is I put it out in an official forum saying we'll all gossip together. It did 3 things as an organization, okay, and as an employee engagement initiative, right? First, because we are gossiping in the open, a lot of grapevines started coming out in the open. So jo chote grapevines hote hai na, somebody will sneak out and talk about it in the gossip meeting. What it does is it nips the grapevine in the bud. You no longer have that grapevine because it came out in that meeting, we laughed about it, and we forgot about it. So that you don't have to worry about grapevines. Second, it creates an emotional bond when, you know, people hear gossips about leaders, people hear gossips about friends, and, you know, everybody is laughing about gossip together. Third thing it does is, ये जो हमें शाम को parties में जाना होता है in the name of employee engagement. Sorry, there's a false fire alarm. Whenever I'm on a roll, there'll be a fire alarm usually in the apartment. You know, when you have these evening meetings where we tell, let's get together and have a casual conversation. These gossip meetings actually eliminated the requirement of those meetings at all because we are very well connected emotionally. So try gossiping with your colleagues officially. Trust me, you will see a great impact. Okay, it is dangerous, but just try it. You never know how you benefit from it. Okay, storyboarding. You know, induction karte, you know, we are planning induction activities, there are presentations, there's videos, there's all of those things. We stopped doing induction programs. What we started doing is storyboarding. Induction program ke naam pe, we just tell the story of the department. So if there are new joiners, we have every department that will tell that department's story to people. The minute I'm telling my story as a department or my story as an organization, I'm creating that emotional bond. When you read a story, you create that, when you watch a movie, you create so much of bond with the characters of that movie. Sometimes you cry at the end of the movie, you laugh at the end of the movie because you're relating to it. We do that from an organization perspective through stories, right? For any material to read, we send them the presentation, they go through it. What it did is suddenly people are like, oh, this is not a normal induction, surprise element. Oh, they're telling a story about the organization. Wow, I want to hear how this department was set up. I want to hear how this organization journey happened. The minute I get into story mode, people will remember more of the induction than they would have actually remembered when you would have gone through a great presentation. And then once they know the story, and when they're going through the presentation later, they relate the presentation to the story. There is an instant alignment and an emotional bond created. It's a very, very powerful tool, right? Think about it, see how you want to use it in your organization. Reach out to me, if you want any help. I'm absolutely freely available for anybody who seeks for help, because I also keep, talking to people and getting help, right? Let me go back to some more tips that I have for all of you. यार थक गया मैं बात कर करके यार. Show video panel. Okay. So morning raga, we spoke about it, but a surprise, right? Think about how you can surprise your people. Second thing, crisis engagement. Have you thought of crisis engagement? I mean, I've used crisis to actually engage with people, right? This is very, very interesting that I have to share with you. Right? Once in office, there was a power cut. We work out of a co-working place, and there was a power cut in office. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I keep writing a lot of things about my company, about HR, about a lot of things, etc., etc. So what we did, there's a power cut, and nobody, they're working on it. They're trying to fix it. Everybody's coming to HR. How can you create an environment where there's power cut? We are sweating. We can't focus. We can't do this. We can't do that. It's a temporary 6-7 hours thing. But because it is summer and people are pretty, it is pretty hot, they're getting pretty, pissed off. I said, lad, just जहाँ जगह मिलता है वहाँ पे बैठ जाओ यार. So they reluctantly went and they sat in open places instead of their closed space. I went, I took my phone and I started clicking photographs. I just started clicking photographs. Okay. The minute I started clicking photographs, I started seeing people smile, because instantly they knew that if he's clicking photographs, he's going to write some story on LinkedIn about what this crisis is all about, right? Suddenly everybody is posing, everybody is, giving that, post saying that, oh, we are working very hard, we are sweating. They're doing all kinds of naughty. The crisis suddenly turned into an opportunity where people were suddenly excited. And then nobody was even bothered to think of, acha, current nahi hai, garmi ho rahi hai, everything is forgotten, If as HR you can effectively see in a normal crisis, what you would have told, we are trying our best, AC thodi hamare control mein hai, we have escalated this matter to the highest authority, we are doing this. While all of this is happening, the minute you are able to turn the story around, people will start participating. Another instance of crisis engagement is we had to hire some 200-300 people for field workforce in Mumbai, and Mumbai is our site office, so we only have a 8-seater office. And can you imagine, there were 300 people that we had to onboard. We didn't think the vendor will hire so many people so fast. We didn't think we will also hire, but we eventually hired 300 people. We didn't have a place. We didn't want to book a hotel for an induction program and all of that. So I asked my vendor partner, team leads, who was very helpful in this case. They said, sir, हमारे पास parking lot है, वहाँ पे chairs लगा देंगे. We can arrange for chairs in the parking lot. Is it good enough for you? I said, as far as we can get these people in that parking lot, I'm happy. We'll go ahead and do it, right? Crisis. People will say, what kind of company is this? And sometimes it happens with us, right? When people keep questioning what kind of company, you have to do this, professionally companies mein ye karna chahiye, this has to happen, that has to happen. So what we did is, I just asked them to share photographs again of that crisis. And I wrote on LinkedIn saying, for my people, getting knowledge is more important than a fancy hotel. It was an instant hit, right? So how you can turn crisis into engagement, right? These are tips that you should think. Face a crisis, I want you to try and see how you can turn that out into an opportunity, right? Let me go back to shared screen. We will overshoot this by 5-6 minutes. Bear with me for that. Okay, let me get the video panel, right? Sorry, I'm having trouble here. Okay, the next one is simple, impactful ideas, right? Think of simplicity. Don't think of complex ideas. Don't think of how you can, make the whole world, very, 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 very complex. Okay. Uh, when I hired interns this time, we had to do everything virtually. All of you know that we were all working from home. So when we were doing our introduction, I actually spoke to all the interns and I asked them to share their pet names. And we actually made their names appear as pet names and we welcomed them on board through their pet names. Why we did this? We said, see, your home, you're in your comfort zone. In your home, you're usually called by your pet name. So we'll also call you by your pet names, right? Even today, they say that nobody in an official capacity has called us with our pet names the way you did. It certainly creates that, wow factor, that surprise element. But the idea is not costing any money. It's a free of cost. Yeah, pet name batana hai, uspe kya matlab lagega, right? But simple, impactful ideas create a huge impact when you talk of engaging with your people, right? Today we've all hope, a lot of you were wondering why we have, asked for Indian attire and what are we doing and all of that. And there's one last activity that we will do towards the end of it, whoever survives. We do meditation at workplace. Try that if you're not tried that. We have a snooze hour. Between 1 and 2 during lunchtime, anybody can go and take a 10-minute snooze at their desk. They can just go put their head down and sleep on their desk. Nobody will disturb them. There's officially a snooze hour where you can eat food. You want to sleep for 10 minutes, take a power nap, go ahead and do it, right? Not everybody takes it. Not everyday people take it. But whenever they are very tired, whenever they've overeaten a biryani, whenever they are, they sort of want the whole thing to sort of, work out, they just go and sleep and it helps, right? Very, 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 very simple, very, very effective activities like these, will create a great impact. So look at surprise engagement, look at crisis engagement, look at simple, impactful ideas. This will really help you engage with your people. All right. There's an activity that I want all of you to do. And this is not an activity here and now, but this activity is something that will take time. What I want you to do is think of a simple, unique, but powerful activity, keeping in mind APE model that I've explained to you: awareness, passion, and emotional connect. Implement that one idea that you come up with in your organization. Okay. And when you do that, write a post on LinkedIn about how you implemented that idea and tag your HRAI, just HRAI, nobody else, because you've got this idea through this session. Right? It's not a today's activity, but an activity that you have to think, use the APE model, implement in your organization, and write about it on LinkedIn when you implement it. It'll be like a good takeaway for all of you, and everybody. It'll be a refresher as well. All right. Okay. Possible? I'm sure it is possible. Not spending time. So I should say gratitude, heartful appreciation. Thank you, HRAI, for having me here. Thank you to all other sponsors. I'm not stopping here. Don't go. We have that activity and we have questions to answer. My presentation gets over, so I'm stopping share screen. Questions that we can answer. Before that, all of you have your shades by any chance?
Yes, Vinay, got mine.
Can you all wear your shades? Whoever has shades, can you all wear your shades? And I at least want everybody on the front screen to just switch on your camera for, say, 30 seconds. It's okay. Right? All of you switch on your camera for 30 seconds. Okay. Shades, Indian formal shades. Yeah. Excellent. There are a lot of other people who have, yeah, I see a lot of people smiling, wondering, kya karwata hai? Sometimes HR activities are like these shades, where people also think the same about us, saying, ye kya karwate rehte hai HR pura time? Pata nahi, kuch bhi karate rehte hai engagement ke naam pe, aur humko karna bhi padta hai, right? But the whole objective of that is not that here. What I want to do is, if Sham, you can sort of take a screenshot of all of us smiling with a victory sign and the shades, and let's make that as our HRAI photograph.
Sure.
You know, at the count of 3, I want all of you to show your teeth with your shades on, with a broad smile and a victory sign. That's a simple thing that I want all of you to do. 1, 2, 3, go. Smile. Say cheese.
Yep, done.
Thank you. Otherwise, लोग बोलते कितने देर पकड़ के रखना है करके. You can get your shades off, and I'm happy to take questions from people for another 5-6 minutes. Okay. 04E336AE. Wow, what a name. Okay, Harsha, you asked a question saying any idea on focal. So Harsha, from a career from a career development perspective, I can share truckloads of ideas. They are not employee engagement, because career development, job enrichment, and employee engagement are 3 different parameters. So what you're asking is for an employee to grow, it is on career development. But from an engagement perspective, when you have wellness initiatives like we do meditation, we do yoga, we do gossip meetings, you know, when you're creating a calm and a productive mind, they automatically develop or grow in their jobs well. Therefore, sometimes wellness initiatives leads to indirectly career development and indirectly helping people in growing in their careers. But what you're asking is essentially career development. Hey.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Okay, Deepak. Deepak, can you unmute? Where are you? कौन grip कर रहा है?
Yeah.
Deepak, see, the point is, you know, how do I put this across? Are you married?
Yes, yes.
Do you crib about your wife and your wife cribs about you?
Yeah, sometimes.
And still both together?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's the relation of employee engagement programs. You know, you like it, you don't like it, you don't do it, people will say you're not doing it, you do it, people will say, why are you doing it? But, you know, when I have created activities that have created an emotional impact, right? Like morning raga example that I gave you, or gossip meeting example that I gave you. Nobody's script saying, everybody is like, we want more of this, right? So when you're doing an activity which creates an impact, and which is why thoda soch ke activity karna zaruri hai. When you do it, when it creates an impact, it'll, you know, help those cribbings going down, right? Tick mark activities, they'll always be cribbing, right? So that's my take on it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? We used to have. Okay, there are questions. No. Any questions? How do we ensure participation? Nikita, for participation, you know, again, if the activity is a surprise element, if the activity is something that people have not thought through, right, they'll automatically participate. If you repeat an activity, they'll say, yeah, we have done this last time, we don't want to come and do the same thing again, right? Therefore, we also have to think as event managers, we have to think as employees, we have to think as HR and create that surprise element. When you do that, a lot of interest will continue to be there. You know why it will be there? Because people will say, Acha, today there's going to be some more new surprise. Let me go and see what they've thought, right? So try that. It will really help you.
Sure, Vinay. Actually, I wanted to ask basically, like we do this talk show every once in every 20 days, okay, with a new leader on the show. So initially we noticed that yes, people are, you know, they participated a lot, but eventually the participation seems to be
These
going.
are internal leaders.
Yes, these are internal leaders.
Okay. So this
and somebody, I mean, you know, who is sitting in the US, who
this is the problem.
not across. So
this is the problem. Leaders will talk to their teams also. Then they'll come and do a motivational talk also, right?
No, this was not motivational. This was related to their personal life.
As in I'm saying that the same people talking, that's what I mean, right?
Okay.
My teams in my company will not want to listen to me. Like just before I came here for a session, Walmart Labs had invited me for a guest session because they were inviting people from outside, right? Sometimes break that monotony, Nikita. Get somebody who will talk just a fun thing. Get somebody who will talk Reiki. Get somebody who will talk postures. Get somebody who will talk, some stand-up comedian. When you break that monotony by, out of 4 speakers, 1 is a surprise which comes up from outside, people will, continue to stay invested. But to listen to your same leaders, they'll ghar ki murgi dal barabar, they'll also say, aha, inko to pata hi hai. So that's a mindset. While they may share a completely different story, but that's a mindset.
Correct.
So break that monotony. It'll help you. Does it give you a tip?
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Excellent. Gossip meetings rather will not affect integrity. On the contrary, it will make teams stronger. The only condition there is if somebody brings out a gossip, don't hold that person accountable or responsible. We gossip, we forget about it. We don't talk about it. We don't hold anybody accountable for it. We don't pull somebody down for it. So if you do that, it'll actually build a very strong team. Okay. There's a company which says that Tushar, can you explain to me your point? Tushar, if you're there.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Vinay, my name is Vinay.
Yes, Vinay, I'm there. So, Vinay, actually, I attended a session where this was that was also related to employee engagement, and the panelists said that there's an organization which does this, which I have explained, that they can even airlift a mother's milk to their child from offices from across the countries. Yeah. And that is how they feel they emotionally connect with the people in the organization. I was trying to find through a lot of sources, but it was not success attempt. So I just thought maybe if you know the answer.
If I know which company it is?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
अच्छा, कौन सी कंपनी उसके लिए तूने 10 लाइन लिखे क्या यार तुषार? I thought कुछ serious कुछ. Okay. How to avoid employee attrition in BPO industry? Divisha, I think BPO industry was at the forefront of a lot of initiatives 15 years back. BPO industry redefined the way employees are treated. Okay. Unfortunately, we have not changed much in the last 15 years. The one thing that BPO industry needs to do is evolve the way they are. Pandemic has fortunately allowed that evolution to happen. So I think now you will start looking at BPO industry evolving with flexibility coming in. A lot of things will settle down. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Conflict management. Radha, I'll connect with you offline because it's going to be a long answer.
Yeah, because usually what happens is whenever we try to manage a conflict, so it's like one feels good and other feels bad. So how can we manage that and be equal to both the employees and so that no one feels down?
I'll do a quick 1-minute answer for it because it may help everybody else as well. There are 3 ways to deal with conflict management. One way to deal with conflict is not to take any action. Sometimes conflicts are good to create good teams, right? Sometimes that conflicts will create good ideas. So one way to deal with it is not to do anything about it. Second way to deal with it is playing a balancing act, right? Typically you play a balancing act when the tempers are high, when people have to cool down, etc., etc. And third way to deal with conflict management is to call a spade a spade. If somebody is wrong, somebody is wrong. They need to understand means they need to understand, right? Now, when to choose which one is really, I leave it to an individual's discretion. But think in these 3 things saying, okay, what is it that I have to choose? You will get an answer in all probability. So try these 3 things. There's no one answer to it. Can you give difference between HR generalist and HR BP? The difference is in spelling, in name, in calling yourself whatever you're calling. I think there should just be one thing called as HR. Recruiter, HR BP, HR generalist, HR strategist, HR engagement specialist. पता नहीं क्या नाम रखा हुआ हम लोगों ने यार. It's all the same. There's no difference, Anu. Okay. Any more last questions? Wow. There are 88 tigers still remaining. Okay, I'll count myself out. 87 tigers still remaining.
Okay, I think we are
through?
Yeah, we are through. We are good to go now.
Before you start off saying that we thank our esteemed panelists for sharing their great insights and engaging us in the employee engagement, I would like to wholeheartedly thank all of you guys. I think HRAI is doing a fabulous job in trying to get so many people together, and I'm super thrilled and super happy every time HRAI invites me for a session. Wholeheartedly, my compliments to the team, and thank you to all the wonderful participants for really sitting through and listening to this session. Very happy to connect with all of you offline as well. Whenever you want any help, I am available. I'll request Sham to repost my LinkedIn link, so if somebody wants to add me, they can add me there.
Sure.
And over to you to conclude.
Thank you so much, Vinay. So again, it was an amazing session, and the first line you have already covered up my thank you note. But yeah, thanks so much for the amazing, fun-filled, candid session that you have. We too love to have you on board, with us, and you just talk. It's amazing. So the way you put across peer pressure, self-awareness, element of surprise, how employees can be engaged via emotional connect was truly amazing. Your three sets of approach of employee engagement, awareness, passion, and emotion has been my takeaway and from this session, and I'm sure the same would be the case with other participants too. It has been pleasure with you today, Vinay. Thank you so much for the significant amount of questions. Dr. Ankita, would you like to say something?
No, I think I'm still smiling, and the smile will remain. I don't know for how long, but thanks, Vinay. I think you are different, and that's the best part. If at all it was possible, and if repetition was not a problem, I would have called you for every second session. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a superb week and weekend ahead.
Yeah, I was actually wondering when the shared activity will come across. So that came by the last, but thanks.
कुछ ऐसे अलग-अलग करना चाहिए ना. See, the surprise element doesn't always mean surprises in this way, right?
True.
Without aim also you can just चश्मा पहन के photo खींच लो. So it just is fun,
Exactly. So before we conclude with today's session, we would want to thank the association members, Geisha, NESCOM, COE, and LinkedIn Local for supporting these HREI events. To know more about this association, request you to kindly visit the links provided in the chat window. Thank you once again, dear speaker and our participants for joining us today. Do join us for our next masterclass tomorrow on celebrating diversity of thoughts at the workplace by Mr. Gaurav Samte on 20th of August 2020. Request you to kindly register for this event at the link mentioned below on the chat window. See you soon. Stay safe. Take care and bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Vinay. Thanks, Sham.
Thank you, Ankita. Well, I think, Peter, we can conclude with the webinar. Thank you all for being here.